You might not remember the exact moment it began. Maybe it wasn't a light beam or a dream. Maybe it was something quieter, like the feeling that your life, as it was, no longer fit. You looked around at the people, the pace, the noise, and something inside whispered, "This isn't it." And that whisper, once heard, cannot be unheard. That's how awakening starts for many of us, not with fireworks, but with a fracture. Not with certainty, but with a question. What if who I've been isn't who I really am? For some, it begins with disruption, a heartbreak, a betrayal, a moment where the ground disappears. There was a woman who spent 15 years in the same job. It gave her security, routine, and a strong sense of identity. She wore the title proudly, but when she was laid off unexpectedly, she spiraled, not because she had lost income, but because she had lost structure. She told me, "I didn't just lose a job, I lost a mask I didn't even know I was wearing." And in the silence that followed, the kind that used to scare her, she started hearing something she hadn't heard in years: herself. It wasn't easy. She questioned her value, her direction, her worth. But slowly, she began to feel free. Not because she had answers, but because she had space. Space to breathe. Space to undefine. Space to let something truer take shape. This is how spiritual awakening often begins. Not as an epiphany, but as an unraveling. Not because you're being punished, but because the soul finally says, "Enough pretending." What follows is often quiet and confusing. You start to lose interest in the things that once defined you. The clothes in your closet, the opinions you used to defend, the dreams you thought you'd never outgrow, they all begin to feel distant. You walk through your old life and it's like someone else designed it. You sit at the dinner table, at the office desk, in the places where you used to feel purpose, and something in you whispers, "None of this feels like mine." This isn't failure, it's awakening. It's the realization that many of your choices, your goals, your image, your ambitions, were built to impress people you don't even recognize anymore. People you may have outgrown, or maybe never aligned with to begin with. You're not losing your identity. You're letting go of the one that was built from fear, approval, and survival. And that means you're finally ready to build one from truth. Then your sensitivity sharpens. Suddenly, the energy in a room becomes louder than the words. You feel people's emotions before they speak. You notice the tension in a smile. You cry at sunsets and commercials and random conversations with strangers. You may wonder if you're becoming too sensitive, too emotional, too fragile. But the truth is, you're becoming honest. Your heart, long armored, is opening again. This is the part of awakening most people don't talk about. Not the bliss, but the overwhelm. Because feeling everything is beautiful, but also exhausting. And yet, the more you allow it, the more human you become. Not the numb kind, the alive kind. Then comes the isolation, not as punishment, but as protection. Your soul begins calling you inward. You start withdrawing from noise, from obligation, from anything that asks you to perform instead of just be. At first, it may feel like loneliness, but over time it reveals itself as solitude, a sacred pause where the real you begins to surface. You stop seeking stimulation and start seeking stillness. You delete the apps, you cancel the events, you walk at sunrise, journal at night, and in the quiet, you realize you were never really alone. You were just surrounded by noise that kept you from hearing yourself. This season doesn't mean you've become antisocial. It means you're in spiritual incubation, dissolving the shell, softening the edges, preparing to emerge as someone truer. And right as you settle into this stillness, something strange happens. The world starts speaking. You begin to notice patterns, repeating numbers, words that show up in different places, dreams that feel like messages, timings that feel impossible to ignore. It's not superstition. It's coherence. It's the invisible starting to become visible. These are not signs to chase. They're mirrors to honor. They don't tell you what to do. They confirm what you already know, that you're not alone, that your path is unfolding, that something greater is guiding you and always has been. Synchronicity is what happens when your inner world starts matching your outer one, not because you finally figured it out, but because you finally let go. Eventually, the realization lands. Awakening isn't something that happens once. It's a way of living. It's waking up, not just from illusion, but into presence. It's learning to feel deeply without drowning. It's seeing clearly without needing to fix everything. It's no longer about becoming someone better. It's about becoming someone real. There's no finish line, no moment where you'll say, "I've arrived." But there will be moments, hundreds of them, where you breathe and feel and trust. And you'll know, this is me. This is real. This is now. You don't need a cosmic sign to prove that you're awakening. You already know. It's in the ache, the shift, the letting go. It's in the way you no longer tolerate what drains you. It's in the way you've started showing up, less polished, more present. This is not the end of who you are. It's the beginning of who you've always been. Thank you for listening. Like this video if you saw yourself in this message. Subscribe if you're ready to walk the path of embodied awakening with clarity, grace, and deep soul truth. And stay close, because in the next chapter, we'll explore how to live this awakening daily, not in ritual only, but in presence.